We've reported there are two bills in the legislature aimed at addressing school violence. While the bills would have initially produced incompatible outcomes, lawmakers are working towards a compromise to find solutions across the aisle. Josh Many joins us now live to discuss more. Josh?
Yeah, that's right, Kristen and Ryan. AB 235 is from Assembly Democrats and expands on a 2019 bill that established a restorative justice framework, more compassionate approach to students demonstrating behavioral issues. AB 330 comes from Republican Governor Joe Lombardo, and it empowers educators to remove disruptive students from the classroom. While both bills initially came from competing angles, they've been amended to work in consort with each other. School violence has seen an uptick since the pandemic.
As a classroom teacher, if I am hit or assaulted by a student, I don't want that child back in my classroom. I don't want the child removed and thrown out, but for my own personal mental health, I need something else to happen with that child.
Shortly before the pandemic, a 2019 school restorative justice bill passed that aimed to lessen the rate and severity of expulsions for students of color. It takes a more compassionate approach to discipline with the goal of not letting students fall through the cracks. But Clark County Education Association President Marie Nisis and other education groups across the state say the 2019 law had barriers to implementation.
That was a very heavy model of we don't have enough staff to do that model. We want to make sure it's progressive discipline and that it's easier to be handled at a school level where administrators and teachers aren't saying to me, our hands are tied.
But now both bills have been reworked to be consistent with each other with the goal of finding balance between students' rights and order.
The goal of this piece of legislation really is to ensure that our students have access to the tools that they need to feel safe on campus, but then if they are part of creating or contributing to an unsafe campus, that they get the resources that they need so that they can help contribute to a positive learning environment in our community.
The governor's bill gives teachers the authority to remove disruptive students from their classrooms while using restorative justice principles. In the Democratic's new restorative justice bill, educators cannot remove a student without having a plan of restoring them to the classroom.
That's going to be the first step for this training. What is restorative justice? What do we mean by it? What does in-house suspension mean? What does expulsion mean? Why is it important to make sure that expulsion will never be kicking a student out and without having any kind of game plan or sort of a policy of reintegrating that student back into the school system?
Assemblyman De Silva says a critical component to strengthening restorative justice is through the hiring and training of social and emotional support professionals. The funding for the expansion of these wraparound services will be decided on in money committees that are finalizing the state's K-12 budget in these final 3 weeks of the session. Covering the legislature, Josh Many, 2 News.